in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get their food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try to make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my worth.
Welcome to the next episode of Give Me My Crown podcast.
Give Me My Crown podcast.
We back at y'all with another episode of the recap of NCAA.
Yes.
So yesterday, I know we missed last week. Last week we had a few upsets. Yesterday it was a lot of good games, a lot of close games.
Some upsets.
Yes, a few upsets.
Yep.
Not as many as it could have been. But it was definitely a few upsets yesterday and a lot of close games.
Yep.
Start off with the Oregon game. Obviously, Oregon's number one. Oregon played Wisconsin, and Oregon's offense didn't come to play yesterday.
Man, they on cruise control right now. I mean, they didn't feel like nobody thought they were going to lose that game, right?
Yeah.
They didn't think they were going to lose. They didn't show up with their best ability, so that's what happened.
That's true, because they only won by, 3 points? 16 to 13?
Yep.
Because Wisconsin is not a horrible team either. And Wisconsin has a decent defense, and Wisconsin has they have a decent defense and an okay offense.
Yes.
So, but they're one of them teams because you get into conference play. They're one of them teams you can't just take lightly at the end of the season.
I agree.
Because obviously, a few more plays go their way, that game would have went a different way.
Yeah.
Next game, Texas. Texas didn't look too good yesterday either. They almost lost to Arkansas, 10-20. It was a close game at first.
Calm down, man. Calm down. Texas is gonna be all right.
But are they though?
They are. Yeah,
I don't know. Who else? Ohio State beat Northwestern. Their game wasn't really close.
Yeah,
they won 31-7. So that was kind of expected. The Clemson Pitt game was pretty close.
that was a really good game.
Yes.
I thought Pitt was actually gonna win that game all the way up to the end.
Do you think Pitt or do you think Clemson now, do you think they still have a chance at the ACC championship?
The ACC is wide open, man. I'm telling you, it's like you got Clemson, you got Miami, you got SMU. I mean, it is wide open.
Who else? Next, Colorado. Colorado, their offense is looking amazing right now.
Listen,
and I know you said it.
Let me apologize.
Yes.
Let me apologize.
A couple episodes ago, I said if Colorado wins out, they can make the playoffs. You said it ain't gonna happen.
I'll say this first: if there were 4 more games left in the season, they'll be top 10. They are peaking at the right time.
Yes,
if
I think only Colorado's only issue that they're gonna have to buckle down if they make the playoffs is their defense has to continue to play all game.
Yeah.
Because at times you see their defense getting lax and they're letting these teams back in the game.
And they need 2 teams to lose.
Yes. Well, so if they win out, they'll make it to their conference championship.
Okay.
And then I'm guessing they would probably play BYU, which would be a good game. And I think if they win their conference championship, they will be in.
Yes.
But then again, they have to win the conference championship, which I would love to see it because just their story from 1-11 to 4-8 to now 8-2, 7-2.
Yep.
Like it's amazing.
Deion, man, he'll lead up men, man.
He is. Tulane beat Navy. Tulane's kind of Tulane has always quietly been a good team.
Yes.
Like they're not one of them teams that's going to come out and be top 10, but they've always quietly been a sleeper team. And with the 12 team playoff for the next few years, I could see them sneaking in.
I agree.
And because they're one of them teams nobody expects.
Well, I don't see Tulane being a top 12 team. They'll be top 20, but not top 12.
You mean ever?
I ain't gonna say never gonna say never.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying next couple. This year, I don't think they won't get in. I'm saying within the next couple of years, I think so.
I can't see it.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Next, Alabama. That was no surprise. They beat Mercer. That wasn't really. I mean, that wasn't even a match for them.
That was a practice game.
Yes, 52-7.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Florida beat LSU. I think that game I was because LSU was kind of when it towards the end of the season, LSU can sometimes get kind of shaky. So I wasn't expecting LSU to come out and blow Florida out either, especially with the way DJ Lagway has been playing lately.
I was about to say that.
Good.
For me, Florida is looking at what they're going to have next year.
Yes, because DJ Lagway, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he a freshman?
He's a freshman, yeah.
Okay.
He's a true freshman.
Yeah, so they're going to be pretty good next year.
Yep.
Next game, Penn State, Purdue. Penn State blew out Purdue. I think that was expected. Purdue is one of those teams, they might sneak one in every once in a while, but they're one of those teams they're not a good team.
Yep.
So that wasn't really a shocker. Notre Dame beat UVA. UVA is I want to say horrible, team. But UVA is not a good team.
Yeah, they're middle of the pack team. Like they just always middle of the pack.
Next game, Stanford and Louisville. Were you expecting Stanford to beat Louisville?
No.
I wasn't. I for sure thought Louisville was going to pull that one out.
Yeah.
Next, another ACC team, SMU and Boston College.
That was a good game too.
Yes. SMU is looking pretty good right now.
Hold up, in that game though, at one point I thought Boston College was going to pull it out.
Yeah, Boston College is. They're a few plays away from being top team in the ACC.
Yeah,
because they beat Miami, they almost beat SMU. Like they're a few plays away from being one of the top tier teams in the ACC. South Carolina beat Missouri. That was a close game though. It was only 34-30.
Yep.
Next game, Arizona State beat Kansas State, which helps Colorado.
It did, and I watched that game too, man. I was watching games so surprised. It's like the quarterback for Kansas State could never get going.
No.
He was overthrowing receivers.
Yeah, which is surprising because he's been having a good year.
He has, man.
So I was expecting him to come out and have a great game.
Yep.
Boise State beat San Jose State. So I watched that game. It was actually pretty close at first.
I know, man.
And then the second half, Boise State just kind of pulled away.
I just started watching Boise State play now ever since he said he wanted to be a Cowboy. So I'm like, I gotta watch
him. Georgia and Tennessee. That was a good game.
Yep. I didn't finish the game. Like I told you, I thought Tennessee was gonna win. I was like, yo. So you told me Georgia came back. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Georgia won that game 31-17. Who else? Washington State was number 18. They lost to New Mexico. And another team that lost, BYU lost. The question is, does this hurt BYU in the conference games?
Because I think they'll be fine.
Because I think BYU would be Colorado's toughest test.
Yeah.
In the what were they in Big 12?
Big 12.
Pac-12?
Big 12.
Yeah, I think BYU would be Colorado's toughest test because BYU has a good defense. Colorado's defense plays when they want to play. Colorado's defense is flashy, but Colorado's defense is not consistent. Like they'll have flashes of plays, they'll get a big interception, they'll get a big fumble recovery, but they have to play consistent throughout the whole game. And I think if they do, paired with their offense, I think they could be very dangerous.
I agree.
So let's talk about top 25 teams. Are there any teams, because obviously Oregon's still number one. Oregon is one of the few undefeated teams. Ohio State right behind them, followed by Texas. I think the top three, I don't think you can really argue with the top three. Penn State at number 4. Do you think Indiana at 5 should be ranked higher, being that they're undefeated?
I'm going to say no. I'm about to say, like, nobody going into this year saw them being a top 5 team, Indiana.
No.
Nobody.
No.
So I think right now Indiana is that team they peaking at the right time, and
Yes.
I think Indiana. Do I think they can hang with the top teams? I don't know yet.
The thing that's going to carry them though is that that they have the momentum.
That's true. Yep.
They have momentum and all the swag right now because they're undefeated. So they go into because at this point, even if they lose their conference championship game, being that they're a top 5 team, they could still be in.
Yep, they will.
You got Notre Dame at 6. This is where I don't really agree.
Nope.
You got Alabama and Georgia at 7. I don't think Alabama should be ranked that high.
Even Ole Miss at 9.
Yes, because if you look at Miami. Miami is a 1-loss team and ranked below all of them.
Yep.
Like I don't understand how Miami lost last week and they dropped so far. Like you barely got Miami in the top 12.
How many losses BYU got?
Huh?
How many losses BYU got?
BYU only got one. The one yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. How many losses does Boise State SMU have?
Yep, Boise State SMU. Yeah, I mean it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We talked about this previously. We knew this was going to happen.
Yep.
To get Alabama in the playoffs,
but Georgia as well. If you look at, I'll say Alabama does look better than Georgia. Georgia is very inconsistent, man.
Like, Georgia like Carson Beck is not looking good at all right now.
I agree.
Do you think when it comes to conference play? That's going to hurt one of them because who are the top 2 teams in the SEC right now?
I want to say it's Tennessee and who else is it? Because I said this would be the first year Alabama and Georgia probably wouldn't make the conference championship.
Texas, let's see,
Texas,
SEC standings.
Texas.
Is it Texas?
Texas and Tennessee.
Yep. Yeah. No. Hold on. Texas and Texas A&M.
Okay.
Because if you look at A&M and Texas both only got 1 conference loss. Everybody else has at least 2 conference losses.
Okay, gotcha.
So the problem is if they both went out, you're going to have Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and Ole Miss, all of them not in the conference not playing for the conference championship, which is going to hurt somebody.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be crazy, man.
So because if Texas and Texas A&M win, or if Texas and Texas A&M play, obviously Texas will probably win that game. If they do, how far does A&M fall? Because A&M is, where is A&M now?
A&M is 15.
It's 15. So if A&M loses, they're out. But if A&M wins that game, that's going to bump them up because that's going to give them an automatic bid. But then Texas at that point will still only have 2 losses. So you're not going to – so at that point you can't drop Texas below Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss.
So who falls out of the top 12 at that point? That's my question.
So I think, let's see, looking at it. So Ohio State and Penn State are probably going to play each other. Are they top in their conference?
Let's say this. Let's put this right here. Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame are most likely not moving out of the top 12.
Say that again.
Oregon, Ohio State, Texas. I'm going to say Penn State too. And Notre Dame are not moving out of the top 12.
So when you look at it, though, that may play in their favor. Because if you look at their conference, Oregon and Indiana are the top 2. So if Oregon and Indiana went out, they're going to play each other.
That's true, right? But there'll still be 1-loss teams, though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So if you look at so because that won't put 2 losses on their record.
That's what I'm saying. So they're going to stay.
You still got to keep them up there. And then even if Indiana wins or loses, Indiana then only becomes a 1-loss team to the number 1 team in the nation. So you can't drop them but so far.
Going into this season, right, we were like going to 12 teams, there would be no controversy.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be controversy this year.
We're playing controversy now.
It's definitely going to be controversy because if, like we said, if Oregon wins and Indiana loses, okay, Indiana lost to the number 1 team in the nation. Drop them 3 or 4 spots, maybe. If Indiana beats Oregon, Indiana would then move up. If Indiana beats Oregon and Indiana is the only undefeated team, I think you have to put Indiana at number one.
They still not, Tonyo.
If you put Indiana at number one, you can't drop Oregon but 2 or 3 spots.
Yep.
And so that's going to be the problem. Then right now, if you look at ACC, you got the top teams as SMU, Clemson, and Miami. So that one may be an issue too, because if you have, say you have Clemson and SMU playing and Clemson beats SMU, Clemson's going to get that bid.
Yep.
Which is going to push SMU out, which then may hurt Miami's chances of getting into the playoffs.
It's going to be funny, man. It's the way it plays out is going to be funny.
It is definitely going to be interesting. It is, and that's to say the least.
Because like you're saying, Clemson's number 17. They automatically get a playoff bid at this point.
Yes, if they win. So that's going to be interesting. Who else? I think that's the main. Those are the main ones. Yeah. So this, like you said,
that's worst case scenario for Colorado, though. Clemson winning the ACC is worst case for them.
Yes, but I do think that's if Colorado loses. If Colorado wins, do you not put them in?
I'm just looking at it right now, the way it looks, right? So you got Clemson at 17.
Yeah.
If Clemson jumps in the top 12, even they beat BYU is 14, they 16.
But they still got a conference championship. How are they going to do? Are they automatically? Because I know they're giving automatic bids to certain conferences.
4 out of
I thought
5,
it was
Power 5. Yeah.
I thought it was the top 5. I thought the first 4 get buys.
The first 4 get buys, correct.
But so that would obviously be the ACC, the Big Ten,
Big 12.
Big 12 is Colorado. Is what Colorado's in.
Yes,
and then SEC. So let's see. That's SEC, which is 1. Then you have Big 10, Big 12, ACC. That's 4.
This gonna get crazy, boy.
So if they win, they may get that automatic bid.
This gonna get crazy.
I think so. But then, because then you still have those other teams, Notre Dame. By them not having a playoff, I think that plays in their favor because they don't have to worry about losing. If they win out, they're a one-loss team. They don't have to worry about losing a conference championship and getting bumped down.
Yeah.
Because you still got, even though they're a one-loss team, it's still hard to put multiple 2-loss teams above them.
Does it hurt Alabama and Georgia by having 2 losses already? That's my question. Like,
I want to say yes.
Let me give you an example. Ohio State, right? Let's say Ohio State loses in their conference championship, right?
Yeah.
Do we penalize them for having 2 losses and drop them way down?
Me personally, I don't think so. I think you still have to, because for them to even make the conference championship, Indiana or Oregon has to lose.
Good point. Yep.
So, and what is Oregon's remaining? Oh, well, never mind. Oregon plays Indiana this week.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Indiana plays Ohio State this week. So we're about to find out. So one of them are going to drop down. And I think this is going to be a test to see how good Indiana is.
I'm going to say it is. They're going to run that ball, though. They're going to run that ball a lot.
Yeah, because they beat Michigan last week. But Michigan, as we know, Michigan hasn't been the old Michigan this year.
Nah, not at all.
And a lot of the other teams, I don't think they beaten a. I'm looking. I don't think they have beaten a ranked team this year. Which, I mean, they're undefeated, so you can't take that away from them. But you also got to look at their strength of schedule.
Correct.
But like I said, when you're rolling in with that momentum starts to carry.
I agree.
Especially when you got the swag and everything like that. But if Ohio State loses this game against Indiana, I think that hurts Ohio State.
And Indiana for real at that point.
Yes. And if Ohio State wins, that's going to put Ohio State in the that's going to put them. That's going to be the issue because there's going to be 3 teams in with one loss because you have
Oregon beat Ohio State
already,
but then Ohio State beat Indiana. So I guess I don't know how they're going to do the tiebreaker.
But Ohio State beat Penn State, so that might put Ohio State above Penn State.
Okay.
And Oregon's last game is against Washington, so they should win out.
They should win out,
but they just almost lost to Wisconsin, so it's a toss-up.
They should rebound. I think Oregon's going to rebound this week, come out, play hard, and
I think they will.
Yeah.
Who is Penn State? Penn State has to play Minnesota, Maryland. Even if Penn State doesn't make even if they don't make the conference championship, if they win out, they're in the playoffs.
Yep.
They're number 4 team in the nation right now.
They are.
So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Heisman. Who this might be one of the tightest Heisman races. Because in no specific order, I'm going to give my top 5, no specific order though.
Okay.
Obviously, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, Dylan Gabriel. That's top 4. Any one of those, I think, has the stats to and the gameplay to win Heisman.
Who you say?
Ashton Jeanty, Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, and Travis Hunter. No particular order.
Who your 5th?
I just did top 4.
Top 4?
Top 4.
All right, so I'm going to take Dylan Gabriel out.
Okay.
And you can interchange either one of the freshman wide receivers. You can do either Ryan Williams or Jeremiah Smith.
Okay. Why do you take Dylan Gabriel out?
Only because being freshmen and doing what they're doing, they're going to get their hype.
That's true.
Even though he winning a lot, they still going to get him to that hype.
That's true. I think what's going to help Ashton Jeanty is his stats. Like even though if you look at some of the teams they're playing, but you cannot deny his stat. He's averaging almost 193 yards a game.
That's true.
Like that in itself is ridiculous. But then you look at players like Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is doing it on both sides of the ball.
Both sides of the ball, man.
And he's playing 90% of the snaps, if not more.
Receiving touchdown.
Yes. Rushing touchdown yesterday.
Rushing touchdown now. Like, come on now.
And he had he's got 2 or 3 picks on the season.
Exactly.
So it's like do you have to take that into consideration. You have to take the amount of snaps he's playing and that he's doing it on both sides of the ball. He's not having the defensive year because they're not throwing the ball to his side.
Exactly. Yep.
So he's helping the team out as far as stat wise. It's hurting him, but they're not throwing the ball to his side because they know what he can do.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be interesting. Cam Ward, he had that one bad game last week, and even though we say bad game, he had over 300 yards passing.
I know, man, that's the bad part.
He fumbled when the game mattered most, but at the end of the day, he had over 300 yards passing.
Yes.
So you still cannot deny that. And Dylan Gabriel, his team is undefeated. But the thing about Dylan Gabriel is they do have a all-around team also.
Yep.
Do you think it's surprising that they don't have Shador in the Heisman talks right now?
Yes.
I do too.
But it's also like, he don't care. He really don't care.
I agree.
Man. Yeah.
I think at this point, I think he wants to win and win a national championship.
Now, I'm going to tell you something.
He drafted.
If he win national championship, we ain't gonna never stop hearing this.
Oh yeah.
If Colorado was to somehow win national championship, it's over.
I 100% agree. So do you think that Deion leaves after the season, or do you think he has it? You think he has another season in him?
I do. I watched the interview he gave, and he was like, basically, he's gonna be there at least for another few years, at least another few years. He's like, he made a commitment, he gonna stay, but coaches say that all the time.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at them, they still got the player. They don't have the they don't have. Obviously, they're losing Travis Hunter and Deion Sanders, but they got the number 2 quarterback in the nation is eyeing them right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Matt Leinart's son.
Yes,
he committed, and he was like, "Hey, you didn't give me we didn't get a chance to talk to him,
And then they got all those receivers.
They do.
They got a lot of good receivers.
Yep.
So they'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they do without Shador and Travis Hunter.
I mean, he's still bringing in top talent though. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, he is. Because you got top wide receivers going out there. Like I said, you got the number 2 quarterback in the nation eyeing them.
Good running back.
Yeah, they still got a good running back. Their receiving core is still going to be good, especially if they all stay.
If they can fix that O-line and D-line,
yes,
that's the major thing they got to fix.
Yes, and as the season is going on, they're starting to play better, but you still see the discrepancies with the line on both sides.
They're still smaller than everybody else.
Yes, and then you got DJ McClain out there at corner.
Yep,
and he's playing pretty good right now.
He is.
So if he continues this up into next year, he's going to be one of the top corners in the nation.
I agree.
But I think like I said, I think these last 2 weeks are going to be interesting, and it's going to be interesting going into the conference championships to see how it shakes things up. And like you said earlier, I think it's going to bring more controversy.
Too much controversy in
the playoffs.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do it this year, and it'll be interesting to see this year what teams they put in and see if they keep this same energy moving forward.
Man, you already know they're not going to take Alabama and Georgia out of this top
Exactly.
30.
One of them will be in. I don't care which one of them will be in.
Yeah.
And I don't know which one it will be, but it'll definitely be one of them.
They're going to try to keep Alabama in at all costs.
I think so. I would rather see Alabama play because Carson Beck is just not looking like himself right now.
Yeah.
So I think Alabama would give us more of a well, I guess it depends on who they play again. I was gonna say will give us more of a challenge against certain teams, but that all depends on who they play.
All the matchups are gonna be great in the playoffs.
Yes. Because I think every one you have you're gonna have, because you look at all the top 12 teams now, and obviously like we said, it's going to shake up. But you look at all the top 12 teams now, anybody could win it all at this point. The only team we have not seen that can really do so, Indiana has not played anybody
Boise State
really tough, and BYU. But other than that,
Boise State ain't played like no top team.
Boise State not top 12 either.
They're not top 12.
Oh, I think they're number 11.
They 12.
They did play. They played Oregon,
and what happened?
They lost by less than a touchdown.
They still lost.
Yeah, they lost. They didn't get blown out though.
That's true.
They didn't get blown out.
Yeah,
but I think it's going. The next couple of weeks, the podcast is going to get interesting, talking about who's in, who's not, who got and who got snubbed.
Yes.
So I definitely tune in. If like I said, if anybody out there, if y'all want to jump on the podcast, let us know. If y'all want to give y'all's input, let us know. Are we missing anything?
Nah, I don't think so, man.
All right, and as we always say before we get off every podcast, this is more than a podcast. We handing out crowns.
Hand them out.
Who the lover, who the hate? Who the realest in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get they food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try and make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my worth.